Number 9. Kilauea Lava Beach, Big Island, Hawaii, USA. The Big Island of Hawaii is home to one of the most active volcanoes on Earth, Kilauea, which erupted almost continuously from 1983 to 2018. During active periods, rivers of lava pour down the island's slopes and into the Pacific Ocean, creating a spectacle that draws thousands of visitors. It is also one of the most dangerous things a person can witness up close. When lava boils seawater completely dry, it creates a toxic plume called laze, a mixture of hydrochloric acid gas, superheated steam, and tiny shards of volcanic glass. The most dangerous type of event at a lava ocean entry is a delta collapse, when a newly formed platform of cooled lava suddenly gives way into the sea. These collapses have hurled hot rocks nearly a meter in size as far as 250 meters inland. The timing and direction of these explosions cannot be predicted. One moment the ground is solid, the next it is gone. In November 2000, 2 people were found dead near the lava ocean entry site. The medical examiner determined they died from pulmonary edema caused by inhaling the steam plume. Despite clear warning signs posted by the National Park Service, visitors regularly cross barriers to get closer. The ocean here is not just hot, it is actively trying to kill you. Number 8. Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands, Pacific Ocean. Bikini Atoll is one of the most remote and beautiful places on Earth, a ring of 23 coral islands surrounding a vast lagoon in the central Pacific. It is also one of the most radioactively contaminated sites in the world. Between 1946 and 1958, the United States conducted 23 nuclear weapons tests at Bikini Atoll. The cumulative force of all tests across the Marshall Islands was equivalent to 7,000 times the force of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The 167 people who originally lived on Bikini were forcibly relocated by the U.S. military before testing began. Some were allowed to return in the 1970s, but were evacuated again after scientists found dangerously high levels of strontium-90 in the food and water. An 11-year-old boy who was born on Bikini in 1971 later died from cancer linked to radiation exposure he received on the island. Today, the atoll is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and can be visited by licensed divers who explore the sunken warships beneath the lagoon. Eating locally grown plants or wildlife is not recommended, and the island remains largely uninhabitable to this day. The water is clear and blue. The coral is growing back, but the radiation is still there, invisible, silent, and permanent. Number 7. Acapulco Beach, Mexico. Acapulco was once the jewel of Mexico's Pacific coast. In the 1950s and 60s, it was a playground for Hollywood stars and world leaders. John Wayne, Frank Sinatra, and even the Kennedys spent time on its famous beaches. That era is long gone. Today, Acapulco is one of the most dangerous cities on Earth. For 5 consecutive years, Acapulco was the deadliest city in Mexico, in a wave of violence driven by feuding street gangs and drug cartels. Disputes between cartels led to 1,890 murders in the state of Guerrero, which includes Acapulco, in 2023 alone. Bodies have been found on the beaches themselves. Armed men have opened fire on beach restaurants and chased victims into the surf. The U.S. State Department advises Americans not to travel to Guerrero, warning that armed groups operate independently of the government in many areas. In October 2023, Category 5 Hurricane Otis made direct landfall on Acapulco, destroying most of the city's hotels and killing dozens. The city was already on its knees before the storm hit. The beaches remain physically beautiful, but setting foot on them means entering one of the most violent environments in the Western Hemisphere. Number 6. Amazon River Beaches, Brazil. The Amazon River is the largest river system on Earth, and along its banks and sandbars lie a series of remote beaches that look almost tropical. What lives in that water is another matter entirely. The waters of the Amazon are home to electric eels, piranhas, anacondas, and parasites small enough to enter the human body through any opening. The river also carries strong and unpredictable currents that can drag swimmers down without warning. The water is murky, warm, and full of microorganisms. Bacteria, parasites, and waterborne diseases thrive in this environment. Mosquitoes near the river's edge carry malaria, dengue fever, and other serious infections. Organized crime groups have expanded into a third of cities in Brazil's Amazon region, making remote riverside beaches dangerous in ways that go well beyond the wildlife. Bull sharks are also a documented presence in the Amazon. Unlike most shark species, they can survive in fresh water and have been found hundreds of kilometers upriver. The Amazon beaches look serene from a distance. Up close, virtually every element of the environment is capable of killing a human being. Number 5. Praia do Norte, Nazaré, Portugal. Nazaré sits on Portugal's Atlantic coast, a small fishing town that has become world famous for one reason: the biggest rideable waves on the planet. The Nazaré Canyon, the largest submarine canyon in Europe, funnels and amplifies incoming Atlantic swells, producing waves that rise to the height of multi-story buildings. In February 2024, Austrian-German surfer Sebastian Steudtner surfed a wave 28.5 meters tall at Praia do Norte, believed to be the largest wave ever ridden. These are not waves that swimmers stumble into by accident. They are forces of nature that professional big wave surfers dedicate their lives to understanding, and they still get hurt. American surfer Maya Gabeira was nearly killed at Nazaré in 2013 after wiping out on a massive wave and requiring emergency resuscitation on the beach. Regular swimmers do not enter the water at Praia do Norte. The shore break alone is powerful enough to cause serious injury, and the currents beneath the surface are as dangerous as the waves above it. The beach draws enormous crowds to watch from the cliff tops. Getting into the water is reserved for the most elite surfers in the world, and even they do not always come back unharmed. Number 4. Banzai Pipeline, Oahu, Hawaii, USA. The Banzai Pipeline on Oahu's north shore is the most famous surf break in the world, and the deadliest. Pipeline has been called one of the world's deadliest waves. Its average wave is 9 feet, but it can reach 20 feet, and it breaks over a flat tabletop reef with several jagged underwater lava spires that can injure fallen surfers. The wave has claimed the lives of at least 11 surfers. The first was Joaquin Miro Quesada in 1967, who hit the reef, broke his neck, and died a few hours later. Since then, multiple professionals, people who had dedicated their lives to this wave, have been killed or seriously injured here. Powerful waves break in water just 3 to 6 feet deep over sharp coral and rock, creating conditions that can cause severe cuts, broken bones, paralysis, and death. What makes Pipeline so deceptive is how magnificent it looks. Millions of people watch competitions here every year, drawn in by the perfect barrels and the skill of the athletes. What the cameras cannot fully convey is the reef just inches below the surface and the speed at which everything can go wrong. Pipeline rewards the best surfers in the world and punishes any mistake without mercy. Number 3. Teahupo'o, Tahiti, French Polynesia. Teahupo'o sits on the southern coast of Tahiti, and its name translates loosely from Tahitian as Wall of Skulls. The wave is created by an extremely shallow coral reef that ranges up to just 20 inches beneath the water's surface, producing a uniquely hollow and violent breaking wave unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. There have been 5 confirmed deaths at Teahupo'o since the wave began being surfed regularly in the 1990s. The wave does not just break on top of surfers, it drives them directly into dry reef at full speed. Tahitian surfer Bryce Tarea was killed at Teahupo'o in 2000. He attempted to duck dive a dangerous 12-foot wave, was thrown over the falls and landed headfirst on the reef, suffering 2 broken cervical vertebrae. In 2024, the break hosted Olympic surfing for the Paris Games, a decision that was both celebrated and deeply controversial. Professional surfers described it openly as a matter of life and death. The reef here is so shallow that surfers actually ride below sea level inside the barrel. When it goes wrong at Tehupo, there is nowhere to go and nothing between you and the coral. Number 2. Morecambe Bay, England, UK. Morecambe Bay on the northwest coast of England looks nothing like a dangerous beach. It is flat, wide, gray, and often foggy. A tidal estuary where the sea retreats kilometers from shore at low tide, leaving vast expanses of sand and mud. That is exactly what makes it so deadly. Morecambe Bay is known as one of the most dangerous stretches of coastline in Britain, and it has been claiming lives for centuries. The danger is invisible and fast. When the tide turns in Morecambe Bay, the water can return at the speed of a running horse, several kilometers wide, moving in from multiple directions simultaneously. Walkers and cocklepickers who venture too far out onto the exposed sands are caught before they can return to shore. Quicksand-like mudflats also swallow people who stray from safe paths. In February 2004, 23 Chinese cocklepickers drowned when they were caught by the incoming tide at night, one of Britain's worst peacetime disasters of its kind. Morecambe Bay still kills people today. The combination of unpredictable tidal channels, soft mud, fog, and the sheer speed of the returning sea creates conditions that experienced local guides struggle to navigate safely. Crossing the bay without an official guide is considered one of the most reckless things a person can do in the UK. Number 1. Playa Zicatela, Puerto Escondido, Mexico. Puerto Escondido sits on the Pacific coast of Oaxaca, Mexico, and its main break, Playa Zicatela, is known throughout the surfing world as the Mexican Pipeline. The wave has claimed the lives of multiple surfers, including Ron Cassidy in 2007, Noel Robinson in 2011, and Jay Adams in 2014. But it is not just surfers who die here. The beach is a public swimming beach, visited by thousands of tourists who have no idea what the ocean is capable of. The shore break at Zicatela is among the most violent in the world. Waves detonate directly on the sand with enormous force, and the currents pull victims sideways and under within seconds. There are no reefs to slow the energy of the Pacific swell. It arrives at full power and breaks all at once. Unsuspecting swimmers have been killed simply by standing in the water as waves hit the shore. Rescue attempts are dangerous even for lifeguards, and the beach has seen multiple fatalities every year. What earns Zicatela the top spot is the combination of all factors: devastating waves, lethal shore break, strong currents, a public beach that invites casual swimming, and a death toll that includes both elite professional surfers and ordinary tourists who never saw it coming. The ocean at Puerto Escondido does not distinguish between expert and novice. It just wins. These beaches prove that beauty and danger often share the same shoreline. From radioactive lagoons to shark-infested waters, the ocean has never played by our rules. Some of the people on this list were warned. Some were not. None of them thought it would happen to them. If you enjoyed this video, click on the video appearing on your screen now and remember to hit the subscribe button.